Good morning, adventurers.
Good morning.
It is a beautiful day here in Sydney, a little bit early.
Freezing until now we're in the sun, and now it's perfect.
We are going to be starting our epic trip with Wild Kiwi. You can see the van right there.
Got some amazing, delicious coffee, a little brekkie before we start the trip.
I think today we're going to be heading to the Blue Mountains. Should be some beautiful scenery. We're going to learn a little bit more about exactly what we're going to be doing today and the rest of the couple weeks that we're going to be with them a little bit later.
2 weeks of just non-stop fun and views and hanging. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah. We can't wait to take you guys around with us.
Pretty much the best possible way to get a little intro to Australia.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it. We've arrived to the Blue Mountains. So the Blue Mountains are part of the Great Dividing Range, which we actually learned is the third largest land-based range in the world, which is pretty incredible.
Pretty amazing.
But the question is, why are they called the Blue Mountains? Because the mountains themselves are not blue.
Aren't they though? Just kidding. This whole area is covered in eucalyptus trees, and I guess they emit some sort of oil and it reacts with the sunshine and gives off a blue tint.
Yeah.
So they look blue even though they're not. It's really neat because then you get the green close up to you and then far away it's super blue and pretty.
But the real reason we are here is because we want to see the three sisters. They're just up here. There should be a lookout point if we can get through all of the muddy gauntlet.
It's really muddy. Even though I don't think it's actually rained here in a while. I think it's just a really moist area.
Yeah. So there are the three sisters in all their glory.
Although I feel like a little fourth sister or brother is popping up next to them.
So the way that these were formed is it was caused by land erosion, things like wind, rain, but it eroded away the sides of it, so it all just kind of fell away, revealing these steep cliffs on the inside that I guess they just kind of slowly separated apart like that. But yeah, maybe over time a lot more of them will be sticking out, but I gather that's going to take a long time.
They're really pretty.
Yeah, that's why they stand out so much, because everything else is just kind of these flat rock faces, but then you have these three things jutting out that look so different from everything around them. The town that we are in and that we are staying in tonight is called Katoomba.
Katoomba.
Which I think is the funnest town name to say ever. But this whole area has tons of nature walks, hikes, ridge walks, generally just incredible scenery at every turn.
Yeah, lots of waterfalls, which is actually where we are headed next, to Katoomba Falls. So maybe white shoes were a bad choice for today, but so far I've managed to keep them pretty clean.
For now.
For now.
Well, that was a lovely little walk. Some epic scenery. And I think that's only a taste of what we're gonna see on our trip.
Yeah, the first day and already we're seeing some really epic views. It's awesome.
But we have worked up quite an appetite. We are going to head to a restaurant in town. We were promised country music. I don't know if they're gonna deliver on that, but I have my fingers crossed.
Our guide described this town as country hipster, I think. So I'm very intrigued to see what that means. But yes, there is promise of live country music.
I'll be working for the railroad, sweat pouring off my back, hauling away at a heavy load, far out from heaven and close to the track. I can tell
You guys, they are actually playing country music. And Eric got a fried chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
They're doing it all right here.
Yeah, the food's good, the music's good, the beer's good.
It's good and very cold.
Hello, adventurers. It is the next day, and we've done a little bit of driving today. We went over to a town called Port Macquarie,
Macquarie, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But we have stopped at a koala park.
Y'all.
It's actually a koala hospital.
We were promised to see koalas on this trip, and they just told us literally as we were driving up here that, surprise, we're going to the koala hospital
so
right
here we
now.
are.
So Oh my god, and there are so many koalas.
Yeah, so of course that's like one of the must-do things when you come to Australia is to see the koalas. We weren't sure if we were going to, but there's a bunch of them right over here.
So a lot of these little koalas are sleeping, like this little guy in here. And it turns out they actually sleep 18 to 20 hours a day. And I guess a lot of people think it's just because they're lazy little creatures, but they're not. I guess their diet is pretty low in nutrients, so they sleep to conserve energy.
They're really sloth-like.
Yeah,
I think they do move pretty slow.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. They're all sleeping upright.
Yeah, they just kind of put their head down and just sit there.
Or they like hold on to trees. It is so adorable.
In the wild, males live to age 15 and females to about age 18. But this is really interesting. There was a koala here that this plaque is kind of commemorating that wandered into a birthday party, then they microchipped her. They found her later on when she was really old, and she was here, I guess, and then lived to be 25 years old, which makes her the oldest koala ever recorded in the world to have lived this long.
Her name was Birthday Girl.
Birthday Girl. That's great.
But I was reading that they microchip and tag all of the koalas that come through here so that they can keep monitoring them, because a lot of them have issues. Actually, a lot of them have chlamydia,
Yeah,
which
it's a common thing for them.
We didn't realize is like a big problem with koalas, and it causes all sorts of issues. A lot of them are blind because of it, so they can keep track of them and go and find them when they're in trouble or in distress, and then if they're bad enough, they can just keep them here to live out their days.
Like the birthday girl.
Yeah, like the birthday girl. I think we found some baby koalas sleeping way up in the branches.
That's about as adorable as it gets.
Yeah, I think koalas might be the cutest animal I've ever seen. Every time I look at them, I feel like my heart explodes.
So I guess they can move fast if they want to, because that little guy just moved pretty quick across that branch.
Right up
Yeah.
there.
Before we head out, we wanted to leave you with one last fact. We just read that the term koala comes from an Aboriginal term that means no drink. Is that right?
Because they think that they get most of their moisture from the eucalyptus leaves.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and apparently they're pretty selective about which individual leaves they eat, and you can see them kind of picking and choosing around. They have a big bunch of leaves, then they're really selecting the perfect one.
Also, little baby infant koalas are called joeys, which I did not realize. And they stay in their mom's pouch for 6 months and then right on her back for another 6 months. So a year of living free.
Yeah, sadly we didn't see any little joeys riding on the mother's backs.
No,
that would have been adorable.
That would have been amazing.
Even more adorable anyway.
We just had our first kangaroo sighting, and I am freaking out a little bit. They were huge.
I can't believe you even noticed it. They were way off in the distance, these tiny little specks, and she was like, kangaroos. I still need to see one up close though.
No, now I'm keeping my eyes peeled. I guess they hang out in the vineyard, so maybe they'll be somewhere we're going.
So Australia is broken up into different states. We are exploring New South Wales currently. So to give you an idea of just how big Australia is, we started here this morning and we've driven about 3 hours and we're over here. And that's just barely any of the entire continent. It's crazy. We've made it to the hostel that we're staying at tonight, but it started to rain, so nice and gross.
It's it's just misty, like annoying rain.
Lucky number 6. That's us, right?
Oh, nice.
All right. This is our little room for the night.
How cute it is.
Lights don't, oh, they do work.
It's going.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
No bunk beds tonight. Nice.
So we're staying in a YHA, which is, we stay in YHAs all the time in the UK, if you guys remember. We had no idea they had them here in Australia. So that's pretty cool.
We knew they had some in New Zealand, but they're pretty separate entities. So I imagine it's the same in Australia, but still pretty similar vibe. They're in really cool areas, just like they are in England.
Yeah, all the same little amenities and stuff.
Yeah, it feels
pretty cool.
very familiar.
We're gonna head to the store and then we're gonna do like a group dinner where everyone's gonna pick out some stuff and then we're gonna grill it. Because I think they should have some grills over there that are covered, so we shouldn't get too wet. We're at the supermarket and our plan is to make like a vegetable sauteed vegetables.
Like a veggie stir fry.
Yeah, something like that.
But I think we'll have quesadillas, veggie stir fry, some other things.
Oh look, it's our favorite New Zealand dessert, pavlova. So we ended up coming back to the YHA, all cooking together, and made a delicious meal of meat and veggies and halloumi.
I made a little delicious Mexican stir fry, mostly just whatever veggies we liked with like a little seasoning packet, but it was really yummy.
Yeah.
Somebody did some halloumi on the grill. Oh
It
my
was
God.
awesome. Afterwards, we were all just playing card games and hanging out and stuff, and all that stuff is really hard to film, so...
Yeah. It's just fun bonding because we're going to be with everyone for the next almost 2 weeks now, a little less than, but so it's just been fun to get to know everybody, especially our guides and the people on the tour with us. So tomorrow we might take off because I think it's going to be a bit of a driving day.
It's going to be mostly me sleeping in the van.
Maybe trying to get some work done because we have Wi-Fi in the van, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's been great.
But we will be heading up to we're in Hunter Valley. We're going to be heading up to a little area on the coast. We are going to finally learn how to surf.
So that's going to be our next video, is doing surf lessons here in Australia.
We'll see how it goes.
Stay tuned for that. It's probably going to be mostly comical,
Yeah,
I would imagine.
It'll be a surf camp, so they will feed us. They will teach us how to go out and probably just like not fall off a surfboard, maybe not get up on a surfboard, but pretty excited for it.
So that's going to do it for the first couple days of our epic adventure with Wild Kiwi. We have so many more awesome videos, awesome adventures that are going to be coming at you later on.
Views, sights, foods, adventures.
Us falling off surfboards. Quite a bit.
It's going to be so much fun. Good night, adventures.
We'll see you on the road.